Welcome to Permission to Shine, the space where high-achieving women like you come to peel back the layers, overcome what's been holding you back, and rise into your most authentic, powerful self. I'm your host, Sherisse Bisram, inner power activation leader and intuitive healer, and a woman who knows what it means to look like she's thriving on the outside, also while feeling disconnected on the inside. This podcast is here to remind you, you didn't come here to just perform, you came here to lead with your soul. Your obstacles, they're invitations to expand. And your power, it was never outside of you. It's been waiting within you all along. Each week we'll dive into honest conversations, healing insight and soul-led strategies to help you stop self-sabotaging, reclaim your light and lead your life, your business and your relationships from deep-rooted truth. So if you're ready to rise with grace, softness and fire, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. Hello, my loves. So this week, I want to talk about something that's come up in conversation over and over again with women in my world, with women that I'm meeting. And I've been doing a lot of networking. If you follow me on social media, I've been very social over the last few weeks. And this conversation has come up over and over again. And the topic really is, what do you do when the life you thought you wanted no longer fits the version that you are now? And for me, this moment became really apparent in the pandemic. And those of you that have been following along, we all know this story, but I think it's always nice to be reminded of it because we are allowed to pivot and change and shift at any moment, at any time. But I think that when we don't see it enough or we don't hear about it enough, we don't feel like it's quote unquote normal, right? So the reminder is, up until 2020, I was planning to move to LA to be a professional dancer. I had meetings booked in with attorneys and, everything booked, flights, accommodation, everything to go in the April of 2020 to figure out how I was going to live there. And then when the pandemic shut us down in March, I had to stop and ask myself, is this the life that 28-year-old me actually wants? Or was it the plan that 18-something-year-old Sherisse created? And do I even feel the same way anymore? LA has always felt like a home from home for me. Like I've been so many times now. And the minute I step off that plane, there's like just this reminiscence in my body that I've been there before, right? And I'm not talking just physically, me being a woo-woo gal. It's like that spiritual connection to the place. It just, I know my way around. Like everything about it is just like a home to me. And so the idea of not allowing myself to go there and live and all those things was such a death moment, in my life. I was like, wow, like this is no longer what I want. And I think what I realized is the dancer me was always trying to prove herself. Like I thought that if I was, I danced on certain stages or got the credits or, was touring with an artist or whatever, that would make me the worthy, deserving person that I was so desperate to become. But the beautiful irony in that is that you don't need to do anything in order to feel that way about yourself. You get to feel it now. And that's the fast track to all of this stuff, right? So if you are in that season of your life right now where you're realizing that, gosh, I've built my whole life around my career or my whole life around my family, and now I'm realizing that actually that's not who I really am, that's a great opportunity. And the thing is as well, like we're going through so many major astrological transits at the moment, the universe is literally saying to you, if you keep doing things the way that you've been doing them, we will take it from underneath you. And so this is the most beautiful invitation for you to really take stock of like, why am I doing the thing that I'm doing now? Because like I always say, intention is everything. Your intention behind the reason why you're doing something has to be so clear. And like we think about, let's take career, for example. If, for example, you came from a family that didn't have money, you would have built this ideology in your mind that you needed to be the breadwinner to allow your family to have the things you never got to have as a child. Beautiful ethos. again, comes from proving and fixing. The difference would be is that, say, for example, you wanted to be a forensic um detective. I don't know what the right word is for that, but you wanted to work in the police and you wanted to work in forensics. And you wanted a decent paying job because you wanted to be able to financially support your family, but you equally wanted to do something that made a difference that you were interested in, and your whole life you've watched crime documentaries and like, or you watch it to go to sleep and listen to the books and all the things that there sounds like passion and purpose, right? But you working in a corporate career because you feel like you have to work your way up the ladder in order to be taken seriously as a woman in your industry and by your family, that there is the proving part. And so no wonder you're exhausted and burnt out all of the time because you're not doing something that sets your soul on fire. And if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I talk about expression a lot. And when you're expressing yourself, that is freedom. Like to be able to allow yourself to fully let go and be in the moment and allow all of you to pour out, that is a freedom that I bet you don't grant yourself, right? If you're this person that I'm talking about right now, that you're in a situation where you're not enjoying what it is you're doing, I can guarantee 100% that you are numbing other areas of your life as a byproduct of feeling numb in your work environment. Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. My first mentor told me that, and that stuck with me like anything. And I think, I've said this a few times now, but I do feel like we were told a lie as women, and we were shown that we had to be independent, we had to be strong. And, the real, it's such a, what's the word, like a conundrum, because I feel like the reason why women are so masculine is because men have been like babied almost as children, right? I mean, we haven't been teaching men how to be men. We've been teaching women how to be men. And that's the difference, right? But equally, the cycle continues because then we are now masculine as women, and then we aren't being feminine for our men, and therefore they don't want to be with us because we like being with a man, right? So I feel like this is the cycle I'm seeing a lot in this situation. Now, you might be in a really happy, beautiful relationship and you found the balance, which is amazing, but the women that I'm seeing all of the time are beautiful, powerful, strong, independent, and asking me, like, why am I still single? Like, as in, they are asking for themselves. And I said to them, you don't feel safe in yourself. You don't feel safe to let go. And I'll be honest, like, when you meet a man that makes you feel safe, that is beautiful. But you have to feel it first in order for him to come in. Otherwise, he won't find you. And that's the irony of it all. And I think that, this is kind of taken a bit of a turn, but it's the same. Everything is the same concept here because when I'm talking about, if you feel like you've outgrown something, we're basically saying it's an old identity that we're shedding, right? And what's happening is, again, you're not allowing yourself to surrender. And I say again because I talk about this all the time. When you're gripping onto the version of yourself you thought you had to be, you're not softening into the version of yourself that's been dying to come out. I know so many of you have like passion projects or, hobbies and things you're interested in. You don't have to make a career of that, by the way, but do more of it. You know, if your life is so busy right now, you have no time to do the things you enjoy, you're not living, you're existing. And you're going to say to me, oh, it's all right for you because blah, 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 blah. It's not been all right for me. It's been really bloody hard over and over again. And yes, sometimes it requires sacrifice, but let me ask you. If you could look back on your life in 10 years' time and you were exactly where you are right now in 10 years, would you be happy with that? Because I can tell you now, on my time hop today, I saw that this time last year, we bought my best friend's wedding dress. So we went wedding dress shopping. She bought a dress. And my life, how I feel about myself, everything is completely different from a year ago, you know? So I feel like when you're brave enough to be in the uncomfortableness and to step forward and do the things that are outside of your comfort zone, that's when things start to change. And I guess the real difficulty in all of this is that we think that it's going to happen overnight. And that's where we get impatient, right? Especially as strong, independent, fierce, feisty women. All we've done our whole life is like, you know, we're hyper vigilant. We're aware of everything happening around us. We make strategic decisions. We're not acting on impulse. We're acting on logic. And all these things we're putting into consideration for every step of the way. But sometimes we have to let go of control and allow things to unfold how they're supposed to. And that does mean that sometimes it takes time to build. And this is a beautiful segue into this new moon in Taurus, because that's exactly what the Taurus moon is asking of us. What are you looking to build and grow now, sustainably, and what's the other word I'm thinking of? Consistently, I think. So if you were to plant a seed in the ground today, and every day and every couple of days you watered it and you nurtured it, what would bloom in that time? It's the same with what it is you want to call in for yourself, because Taurus is strong and it's powerful and sturdy. It's the bull. So it is tenacious. It will knock things down that needs to go. But equally, it's stoic in its presence. It's not moving anywhere. It's unwavering. And I think that that's what Taurus is asking of you. What do your dreams look like? What do your goals look like? What do you want to feel in your body in 6 months' time? If you've got fitness goals, what does that look like for you? And what steps can you take, every couple of days to build towards that? Because that's the important part. And I said on my newsletter actually this week about how we can use like a SWOT analysis just for ourselves. I did this actually with my program that I've got running as an after school program um funded by the council. And I said to the girls, I was like, we need to understand what our strengths and weaknesses are, because then we know that we can lean into our strengths and actually our weaknesses. For example, as women, if we're doing a career that evolves it or floats around what our weaknesses are. And I wonder where I'm feeling unfulfilled. And a lot of the time as well, like this isn't for you to like be critical on yourself, but it's for you to say, oh, is that even important? Like, yeah, I'm not meant to be good at everything. Like my thing I always say is I'm rubbish at maths, absolute rubbish, but we have calculators, so it don't matter. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not going into bloody I don't know, well, anyway, I'm not whacking out algebra. Do you know what I mean? And actually, fun enough, I do know a lot about a lot. I've done my taxes my whole life. Do you know what I mean? So I'm clearly doing all right there. But the point of this is when you're aware of yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, the things that are working and things that aren't, that is such a beautiful space to grow and nurture the next stage. So, look at your strengths, look at your weaknesses. What are the opportunities from the weaknesses? What are the threats from the strength? And like if you did it in like four, folded up a piece of paper into four sections and did it that way, you can look across in the diagonals and see how they fit and feed into each other. And this is such a basic task, but it's one that we forget. And we always say this, don't we, as women? It's like the simplest things we forget to do. For example, like what the pelvic floor squeezy things. Like they're always talking about, oh, you need to make sure you squeeze your pelvic floor. How easy is it to just do that? We're having a chat now. I mean, do it right now. You're listening. You can do it, can't you? It's like these things that we should be doing more and more every single day. And I'm not asking you to do a SWOT analysis every day, but maybe every new moon, that would be a great opportunity, or even just every couple of months. Because I think when we take stock for ourselves, we can see what's working and what's not. And it stops us from falling into these cycles of like, for example, if you've been in your job your whole life, but hated every second of it, that is a you situation, my love. That's a you problem because you've not chosen to move. And I know there's so many variations. It's hard to get another job, or you're worried if you move somewhere else, it won't be as local, or the hours won't work for you. But at the same time, your happiness should be a priority. And so if you're not prioritizing your happiness, then, like I said, you are just existing and following a pattern that doesn't actually serve you. And that's not fair. And I'll be completely honest as well. The importance of this is that it's also not fair for the people around you as well. And now we don't live for other people, but when we are unhappy in ourselves, that bleeds out onto everyone. And that's exactly what's happening right now in your life. If you think that you're holding it together, because you want to be there for people, but you are feeling depleted, people can feel that. This is why I always talk about the boundary of when you're exhausted, don't be there for other people because you're not going to be useful to anyone else when you are absolutely depleted. You have to fill your cup up first. It's the same concept. How you do one thing, how you do everything, right? How you feel about yourself, your confidence, your in your power. What does that look like for you to feel that way? Because I promise you, when you feel in your power, in your career, in your relationships, in your life, people feel it and they're magnetized to that version of you, right? All the time you're shape shifting, pretending, performing that you've got it all together. People are like, don't know about that, or not sure if I trust her, and I'm just being really bluntly honest with this as well. And again, the astrology, it is pointing to this. We've got Uranus in Gemini now, and it's like fast moving, quick changes, but Uranus is the planet of chaos as well. So, like there's going to be things that get shaken up in your life right now. So if you aren't choosing to move, the universe will do it for you, and it won't be in the same graceful, beautiful way that you want to do it. So really now use this new moon's energy, and at any point you're listening to this, use this energy to write down and get clear, what does that look like for me? Where do I want to be in 6 months time? What would it feel like to have all of these things in place, in alignment? Such important stuff. And again, like I'm going to come back to this, being in your feminine energy, right? We can literally put a song on that makes us feel sexy, makes us feel beautiful, and just move around a little bit in our rooms, or, when we're making dinner or whatever it is, and just start to feel that feminine energy coming through and coming forward, that expression of self. Because so many women I meet are blocking that. And I literally, like, when I was at a networking event twice now, the last 2 weeks, and I get thrown into the middle of this circle. Again, I'm an ex-professional dancer. It's in my nature. But there would be a part of me back in the day where I was dancing professionally. I didn't want to show off because I was like, oh, I do this for my job. I don't need to show off. So I'd like quite gracefully exit. Whereas now I'm like, okay, I'm here. So I'm going to go. I'm going to go for it. And I just have fun. Like, honestly, I just have so much fun. And I think that in its turn inspires other people to have fun. And I've every single time I've done this in the last few weeks, someone's come up to me and said, I wish I was as confident as you to do that. I wish I felt as safe enough in myself to just get in the middle and do that, you know? And I have no inhibitions. I'm not overthinking it. I'm not worrying about it. And even some of these people can dance and they're still afraid of, being judged or whatever that is. Like it is that. So the key here really is for you to get clear on what it is that's going to make you happy and start doing more of it. Because there's no magic wand, right? I think some people would see the title of this and expect like a real logical solution, but sometimes there's no logic that's needed. And the clarity that you're searching for is found within your body. And if you give yourself permission to release, to relax, to feel, you will find the answers. And that's exactly the work that I do. Now, I do have some free meditations that I've popped the link to in the description, so you can have a look there. Also, I have my main character activation sequence. There's a movement piece in there. So I really urge you to put that on, have a dance around, and just have some fun. Because honestly, everything is changing at a rapid pace, and you will not be the version of yourself that you were a year ago, even, in a few weeks' time, if you continue to progress and to lean into this. But if you are, feeling stuck, it's because you're trying to stay grounded in a place that you're not meant to be, right? You're not a tree. You're not supposed to stay stuck. You have legs so you can move and walk around. And when we feel stable enough in ourselves, when we create that inner safety through following our joy, by the way, that is when everything else starts to grow around us. We become the garden, we become the oak tree within. And then actually it doesn't matter where we go because anywhere could be home, right? So I'm sending you lots of love. Like I said, links are in the show notes. And if you have any questions about your star sign, what this means for you, obviously drop me a DM. And also, if you are looking to just get a little bit of extra support, maybe what I've said right now is really ringing true and you want to break these patterns and cycles, I do have some spaces available over the next few weeks for my reset sessions, which are 90 minutes. And in there, we just interrupt the pattern that you've been following and we break the cycle. And Yeah, create a new one that serves you for your highest good, and you walk away with tools and actionable practices that are actually going to make a difference in your life. So that's the 90-minute call plus the 2 days of voice note support, which actually works such a dream. So if one of those are something that you are like craving right now, drop me a DM on my socials, which are in the show notes, just with the word reset, and I'll send you the details and we'll get you booked in for that. But I'm wishing you lots and lots of love, and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Please do like, follow, and share with a woman that you know needs to hear these words today. The more women that get to listen, the more impact and change and transformation I get to make into this world, and the light in you shines on others. So sharing that forward is absolutely the mission of this. This is how we all give and get and receive the permission to fully shine. I also have some really incredible things happening this year. I'm hosting the second She Rises event in April. So if you want to find out more about that, click the link in the description. And I'm now newly launching my first ever group program that is called Unforgettable. And it's taking you from performing visibility to embodied authority. So whether that's host your own podcast, or being on stage, or being the leader of your field, and you're ready to fully embody this version of you that has this dream and ambition, that you know the limiting beliefs, the childhood experiences, the generational trauma that has stopped you and prevented you from fully stepping into who you came here to be. This is the space where we get to write a new story, a new chapter in your life. And I'm so excited to hold that space for you. And as always, if you're looking for one-to-one guidance and support, drop me a message, because there's always spaces available for you. I'm sending you so much love.